Right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to GMHA's webinar today for students' well-being. We are going to talk about emotional intelligence and how important emotional intelligence is in all of our lives. I'm Mansi Dholakia, the founder and CEO of Global Mental Health Association, established in the United States, and I welcome all of you wholeheartedly here. Namaste, good evening. Thank you so much for participating in this webinar today. We are going to speak about variety of range of issues because we have leading industrialists, we have leading educationists, we have experienced senior professionals here in front of us. And the way we have put the panel together is so that we can have a good face-to-face discussion about what the issues are and what we can do to deal with them. Thank you to all the audience who has joined us here today, and to the military veterans who are here with us, to some of the media professionals who are here with us as well. I would love to name you all individually, but we're just going to run short of time. So I'm just going to say thank you a lot for being here today. And namaste, good evening, and let's get into the conversation. I'm going to start by introducing Mr. Pramod Kumar Rajput, who is my co-host for the day and who is also the Global Mental Health Ambassador, who is the Global Mental Health Speaker for us. He is the VP of Cadila Pharmaceuticals. Mr. Pramod, sir, thank you so much for being our co-host today, and good evening to you. And we welcome you wholeheartedly. Please begin the webinar by giving your introduction further and welcoming all of the individuals here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving me this such a wonderful opportunity at the platform of GMHA. So first of all, very good morning to Dr. Harvey, who is a name to be reckoned, and good evening, namaste to all the people, all the dignitaries who are here, and all the people who are joining and who have already joined. So this is PK Rajput here. I am working as a senior vice president and the vertical head for the sales and marketing for one of the India's leading pharmaceutical company, Cadila Pharma. This is my 39 years working with one organization. I have risen from level A to the level this level. And the basic motto of my life is that to build the people, because I always believe that if you are a leader, you have to create leaders. Then only you will be able to go the things. At the same time, emotional intelligence is very, very important because I see when we all come in any of the profession, IQ is become a very, very important thing. IQ is a basic requirement. But when to deal with the people and how to deal with your senior, junior, peer group and all, emotional quotient is another very, very important thing. And that too in the new normal has become something great. So I am very happy that I have been a part of this such a wonderful platform where we are going to talk with the students because they are the generations for the world, for us, for India, for the nation. They are going to be a pride for us. So thank you so much for giving me an opportunity. And with this, I would like to request one by one our eminent personalities, panelists, eminent speakers to have their introduction. So I have a pleasure to request Mr. Inderjit Singh, sir, to have your introduction, please, sir, to the entire group. Sir, you are on mute. Yeah.
Thank you, Pramod. Thank you very much, and delighted to be as part of this discussion today. I work for International Civil Aviation Organization, which is a specialized agency in the United Nations system of organizations. And earlier I was CEO of IGI Airport, which is ranked 16th busiest in the world with 75 million passengers per annum. I'm talking of 2019. Let's discount 2020 as if it was never there. Incidentally, IGI Airport, the New Delhi airport, is number one in the 75 million category worldwide. So it speaks volumes of its efficiency, its operational and administrative efficiency. Thank you. Thank you. And incidentally, emotional intelligence is a subject which I did as an elected subject when I was studying.
Great, sir, great. Sir, we are very happy and we are blessed to have such a wonderful personality with enormous part of the experience with us. I am sure with your valuable experience, with your valuable words of wisdom, lot many students, they are going to add lot of the things in their mind and in their heart.
Thank you.
Now with
Thank you
this,
very
thank
much.
you, sir. Thank you so much. Now with this, I'm going to come to another very, very important person who is a name to be reckoned in the institutional industry, and none other person, Dr. AjayRana. Dr. AjayRana, may I request you, sir, to have your introduction to all the people who are viewing and we are a part of this team.
Thank you, Pramod Rajput, sir. Esteemed panelists, those who are with us today's talk, it's my honor to be the part of such galaxies. My special thanks to Manisha ji who invited me for this location and introduced by Shri Pramod Rajput ji. I'm Dr. Ajay Rana. I'm with for Amity for last 20 years. I'm one of the person who start the journey with Amity when we have only 20 students. And my esteemed colleague, they said about I'm in office, we start our journey with 32 students right now. We have 175,000 students across the globe. We have around 250,000 of our alumni. I start journey with Amity as a faculty, as a lecturer, and start my career from lecturer to professor, professor to director, director to dean. And I was the youngest nominated vice chancellor in the country at the age of 39. So that is a basic thing. My area of interest is AI, machine learning, deep learning. I'm the research head of our unresearched lab, which is the consortium of more than 15,000 professors and renowned industries across the globe. I'm the chairman of the Cisco Research Lab at MIT. I filed around 61 patents, 271 publications, 6 ongoing projects with the help of Government of India, as well as the international firms we call inactors, plus the private corporates. My mantra with respect to life, why I'm in MIT, yes, emotional intelligence plays a very important role. If you're connected with any person, the bonding between the two persons, organization, their employer and the employee, plays a very important role. You treat this organization like your family, up to when they take care about you, the part of the family. So I'm today share my views with all the audience, those who are present here, and that is my life philosophy. So again, thank you all. That is my thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ajay Rana, sir, for having such a beautiful introduction. I'm sure many of the students there would have been mesmerized and they would like to see you as one of the real leader to achieve the heights because so many things we just said. So we all again are blessed to have you. Now we have one other very, very important personality, right? And the personality from Canada. And the person is known to be a person for who has written the books which has been a bestseller. And he is supposed to be a father of the emotional intelligence. He is none other person. He is Dr. Harvey. Dr. Harvey, very, very good morning to you. I'm sure you are listening to us. Can I have your valuable introduction to the entire group here? Dr. Harvey, please.
Thank you very much, Pramod. Yes, my name is Harvey Deutschendorf, and I am a specialist in emotional intelligence, and I have been working in this area for about 25 years now, and ever since the book came out by Daniel Goleman, a seminal work called Emotional Intelligence: Why It Can Matter More Than IQ, which sort of opened the world's eyes to emotional intelligence. This is an area that people have been working on for many, many years, but it wasn't well known to the public until Dr. Goleman wrote that book, and then the world became aware that there's such a thing as emotional intelligence. That's about the time that I became aware of it, and it became very, very fascinated by the subject, and it sort of took over my life. I was working I had two careers before that. I worked first of all as a social worker early in my life, and then I switched into the area of career development. And slowly, as I was working in those two fields, I became more and more interested in emotional intelligence, and eventually took over my life. And I now do a lot of writing. I write for a business publication in the United States called Fast Company. I have written now, I'm working on my 122nd article. I do a lot of writing for different publications. I do a lot of speaking, and I'm just very excited about the whole idea of emotional intelligence, because it is not only important in our working lives, in our careers, it is equally as important in our personal lives, our personal fulfillment, our personal, our relationships with our families, our loved ones, and those around us. And so I'm really excited about today, and I'm looking forward to learning from you and sharing what I know with you. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harvey, sir. Thank you so much. Brother, we are going to learn. The students are going to learn. We are going to learn because the person having 25 years of the solid experience on EI is going to make a heaven of a difference. With this, yeah, thank you, sir. With this, I am coming to one of the very, very important, another personality who is Engineer B. Singh, sir, Yadav, sir. And that Mr. Yadav, sir, is basically an entrepreneur. He is basically a industrialist. He is also an academician. So I would request B. Singh Yadav, sir, please have your valuable introduction to the entire panelists and entire people who are listening this.
Good evening to all. Thank you, Pramod Rajput, sir. I also thankful to Mansi for giving me this part of that analyst. I am in education since last 20 years, and we are in education from nursery to PhD. So we run like preschools. We also run. Apart from that, we also are in education through this private. So, to the organizer, especially choosing this subject in context of the emotional intelligence for the well-being of the student, I think it's a very great topic. Not only for the student, it's everybody, because this right from family to professional life, emotional intelligence is required everywhere. So I am very thankful to the organizer, and I am quite hopeful looking the level of the panelists. I think most of these are benefit of the. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much on behalf of GMHA, right, to be a part of this wonderful first meeting where we are going to give a lot of good things to the children. Now I am coming to another very important personality, very humble person, and he is none other person, Mr. Johnston. He is basically a strategic advisor to the royal family. Very great personality, very humble personality. I have met him 2 times, but I keep on seeing him when people post. The people, they keep on talking about his humbleness, his humility, humanity. So I'll not steal the words from his mouth. I'd request Johnston sir to have his introduction to the entire group.
Thank you, all the eminent personalities in this panel. And see, as I told you, I am not a person of anything to do with mental science or of that manner. But being a parent, I know how I bought my children. And moreover, I started my career as a teacher, as a lecturer. So I'm related to both. So I have students at home. I am a parent. I was also a lecturer. So all these three are connected with related to the topics that we are going to handle today. Second, as most of the eminent personalities have told that they have experiences in or they have learned emotional intelligence. I have not done that. But yes, I am intelligent enough with all the emotions that I have underwent through the hard life that I came up in life. So I think I can fairly speak on the subjects. So let me not take much of the time, and let us move forward. And thank you once again for inviting me to this panel.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. You see, that's why I said, now so humble. So you can see that every word is coming up as a humility. See, Johnston sir, see, this is already, it keeps on coming. And with this humbleness, he is a strategic advisor to the royal family. So you can understand. He doesn't know, but he knows everything. So with this, I hand it over to Mansi ji so that we can start having the questions. And I also like to request the people and all the students who are listening this, that you can write down the question on the chat box. First, we will how the procedure is and how the things is. We are going to ask one of the questions with each of the panelists here. one question will be asked by Mansi Madam, one question will be asked by me, and it is all related to the AI part. So whatever you are listening, you please, if you have any question, please write down on this particular chat box. We'll be able to answer you once this entire meeting will be over. So with this, I would once again hand it over to Mansi ji to please take it over, and then I will. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for the amazing introductions here. And I'm just so glad and honored to be a part and, of this wonderful initiative that we've been able to put together. I think the words that I can begin with is we want our students to thrive, not just survive. And that is what emotional intelligence is all about. Everybody can survive in life, but the important part is we want to teach them to thrive in life, to succeed in life, and that is what it is all about. So I'm just going to start with the conversation, and I'm going to come to you, Dunstan sir, first. um, our first question to you would be, what are your thoughts on students well-being? As in, UAE has come up with a lot of initiatives recently towards the students well-being, especially post-pandemic. How do you think students are being supported in your country at the moment?
Now, when we talk about student well-being, well-being, what is well-being? It refers to psychological, social, and physical functioning, and the capabilities that students need to live a happy and fruitful life in the futures to come. Now, to do this, what is required? They need to have good relationship. They need to connect with people. They need to be physically active, not just confined to the house. They need to keep learning new skills, new technology, new things, whatever is required. Most important is they need to understand the present moment. Today, most of the students, they think of 10 years from now, what I will be or what I should be. That is fine, but live the moment, be happy. And second is do good to others, which will make them feel joy. But unfortunately, in today's, I'm talking about the general scenario. The education system today is not that equipped to meet the demands of the mental capabilities of the students. And this inadequacy put most of the people into anxiety, depression, and disconnect them from experiencing joy, happiness, or love. And as a result of this, we see a lot of hatred, bullying, crime, suicide, and all happening among the student community. Now, when we come to UAE, since 2017, well-being has been considered as one of the national agendas of UAE, and it's also part of Vision 2021. Okay, so all the schools and institutions have been advised to focus more on the well-being of students. Now, as you see, UAE is a country where 90 to 95% of the schools or institutions are of international standards, where you see students of different countries, different culture, and different backgrounds coming together. So there itself, the students feel a little bit insecure, or it affects their emotional level, because how they are going to interact with a person of another country. There may be language barriers. So these are all some of the things which has to be considered. And that is why today, most of the institutions, they are even advertising. Earlier, if you see in school advertisement, you will see 100% passing out or centum. But today it is not that. Today they mention this school is considering well-being as an important factor than academic. I'm sure Amity also will follow this. And in most of the schools today, the parents along with the children are invited to have a tour of the entire school campus to see how it is before they decide whether I should join these institutions or not. So that is how it is happening in the entire UAE. Right. Now, these things are not going to just confide only with the students, because the teachers and parents has to feel it and they have to see it. That is more important. And second thing is, today, if you see, we have moved away from the traditional chalkboard to smartboard. Okay. But unfortunately, the curriculum remains the same. See, instead of writing in the chalk today, you have a digital TV which explains the classes and other things. So the curriculum remains the same. That has to change. That what you call it, the one fit size for all. That is, see, right from the age of fourth standard, for 4 years, when a student is put into a school, there'll be a batch of about 20 or 30 in a class. Now, they are all from different backgrounds or different IQ levels or different EQ levels. But the curriculum is the same. The syllabus is the same. Somebody sits in some part of the world and writes a syllabus, and that is being taught to these students, imparted to these students. So that has to change, because it has to, the curriculum or the academic has to be supporting to the career or the life of that particular person. It is not a person who is aspiring to become a doctor or aspiring to become an engineer. If you trust him more of history and geography, I mean, it'll go above his head. So the curriculum has to be a little more modified. So today, if you see, and even if you see, the most of the students in this, they keep asking the teachers, so why should we by heart these topics? Today, everything is available in the internet. Why should we do it? So the concept has changed a lot, especially after the pandemic, where the online classes started functioning. So what happened was, the teachers, instead of them coming to the classrooms and imparting knowledge, today they have become facilitators. Okay, they are facilitating the student to learn through various medium, sitting in their own houses. So that has changed a lot. That has changed a lot. So I think these are some of the things that is happening in the UAE, and well-being is definitely being considered as one of the prime aspects of any institution. And today, if you see, just like how we were having the traditional PT master and other scout master in the schools and other things, today we have happiness leader or well-being leader who interacts with the students, parents, and ensure that they are happy and they are enjoying the school life to the maximum.
True. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for that insightful answer. I think it makes a lot of sense, and a lot of things have changed recently for the good. So thank you very much for your insights. I would request Pramod sir, please take the next question.
Okay, I think the next question which I was supposed to ask with the youngster sir, he has already given the answer, because how emotional intelligence can help the students in their career.
Yeah.
Very well, you said, and you said that the people, when they come to the school, they show the entire school, they take care for the entire things, well-being and all. I would just request you that what are the 3 points which you like to tell, that yes, that what are your thoughts are there which can help the student in their career? 3 things which you feel that yes, this is the top of my mind, which is there, which the people who are listening, or the students who are listening, or the people from the different institute, they can also take it up from your thinking out. What are the 3 points which you like to say, sir?
No, again, coming back to the topic of emotional intelligence, students with a higher level of emotional intelligence, okay, are able to better manage themselves and relate to others around them if they are emotionally intelligent. Now, this can improve their self-motivation and capability of communicating with others. Now, as far as I have learned or I have understood, the 4 basic components of emotional intelligence is basically self-awareness. You need to be aware of your own self. Self-management, we need to be able to manage our things well. Social awareness and relationship management. These are the 4 main aspects of emotional intelligence in what I feel. Now, see, the emotional, the intelligence for a student starts from the day one when he is dropped at the kindergarten. If you remember, when my daughter was put into the kindergarten, the first day she was very happy and she went into the class. She even forgot her parents were waiting outside, and she was very happy. But when it came to my son, what happened was he was reluctant to go inside the classroom, and he was crying. He vomited. He created all kind of scenes, and we have to take him back home. And that continued in his entire school life. Okay, so the day one, if the teacher or the class nanny or the parent, if they all work together and create a scenario that this child who is feeling insecure is taken care, I think that will help that child in the long way. It will, instead of becoming a ugly duckling near a river. You must have seen the farmers taking a bunch of ducks to the river, and they will put it into the sink. There will be 2 or 3 who will be scared to stand aside. So this fellow will slowly put it in the water and make it swim. So in the same manner, if we are able to guide these children who are standing aloof, they will become swans and swim fast in the sea or in their career. And I think it starts from that day onwards. So it is a team effort, and I would say that there is a lot to go in that. And the second aspect which I wanted to communicate is most of we parents, I would call, we are the so-called helicopter parents. We look only the aerial view. We don't understand the children. As far as we are concerned, what is school? We will tell the teacher, give as many homeworks they want. Okay, we put them on extra classes. We send them for special tuitions. So their day is packed from morning till evening, 9 o'clock. And by the time they come back, they're exhausted. I don't think this is the way that we should be treating our kids. They have a life for themselves, not only academics. So we need to look at all these things. Though I am not, as I told you, I am not a veteran in these subjects. I'm just talking out of my own experience. So I think that's all what I have to share.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
you so
sir.
much. So yes, Mansi ma'am, now you can, I think you
Yeah.
summarize the things very well as a parent, as a person who's
As a
able to
parent,
see.
yes.
Right. Fine. Next, over to you.
Dr. AjayRana, sir, I'm going to come to you now. Being an educationist, you must be dealing with a lot of student issues all the time. And since you have such a vast experience in the field, you have, started from the beginning. So you would have gone through some of those issues yourself as well in your entire journey so far. Do you think that emotional intelligence can bridge gaps where you have found those gaps on your way, on your own journey, as well as what you see in students' lives right now? So do you think that EI can play an important role in, bridging those gaps somewhere?
Thank you, Mansi, about this question to me. The important thing is that for start any life journey with respect to the student perspectives or the employee perspectives, emotional intelligence plays a very important role. I take the one example with respect to the first journey to the corporate world, or whenever you join any education institution. It is the parent responsibility to give the basic things to their kids, because we know that the home is the first education institution. As a parent, what we taught to them, they same apply towards the life journey. When the kids visit to the schools or the college, like from class 12th to our college, or from preschool to the schools, the concern is that, I take the one example for the placement and others, emotional intelligence with respect to all perspective, whatever your knowledge is there, but emotional intelligence plays a very important role for any career enhancements. That is my thinking. If I recruit a single professor, my first and the most important thing is that your eligibility, we take all professors and the faculty members as per the predefined parameters. But my first psychologist ask them a simple question. What about your ethics, values, and sanskar with respect to that organization? Is you are capable or not? If he or she, my psychologist, my HR person said to me, we are not satisfied, then we are not present his or her case towards our professors as well as our management. Same is with respect to engineers. Today, the definition of engineer is not like that you are working with IT or IT industry only. I'm so sorry. You take the example of Elon Musk. You take the example of Aris Smith, who was the ex-CEO of the Google, or many others. Why we take all these? They are the very big shots, like Narayan Murthy ji, Nandan Ninkani ji. They are right now the very big. Why they are the very big? The students are so simple. You introduce His Excellence, the students are about so simple person. But what type of pain, what type of commitment towards his life journey? It is our responsibility to communicate to the young and the dynamic persons, those who are responsible for not only their mother country, but mother world. I take the one little example. When any company to visit the campus recruitment for any student, you are so brilliant, you are topper, you are merit scholarship holder. That means it's not that you take the job. Sorry, the first process is that your academic, you are fit, okay. Now, second is about your written test. And you are brilliant and you score around 98% marks, 99% marks. That is my real life experience in front of you. Next is about the group discussion. They identify the person who take the leadership, who take the initiative. All this comes through their emotional intelligence. What they take care from their parents, from the teachers, from the leaders, and from their surrounding environment. After that, there is a technical test. HR, this technical expert check their expertise and all these things. And the last and the most important thing is about you score over 90% marks, some score over 60% marks. Both are eligible. I repeat, both are eligible. Now, HR plays a very important role. They check their emotional intelligence. Is that person is useful for me for the next 5-year or 10-year journey? If that person is capable to take the leadership role or some programmer role, so they ask us questions, not in a straight way, but directly or indirectly. Like in our country, armed forces take a one officer. And here the psychometric test or emotional intelligence test plays a very important role. We call 16 OLQs. I repeat, 16 OLQs means 16 officers like quality. So the person who is the officer, they check their body language, their value, their communication, their leadership skills from railway station to the building. So like suppose you said that one officer's sons become officer, doctor's sons maximum become the doctors, engineer's son become the maximum engineers. But what about next? What about next? There's a one person on the chat window write that I'm engineer. I'm not this the pickup in the core of the engineering. I'm engineer. But what about my role in my system? I'm the senior vice president with MIT, who start the work from C to C. And Pramod Sahab, C to C means chapadasi to chair. We have managed our own chair. We have managed our own destination. We have managed the name of MIT. This batch, my father work in the armed forces. I take the batch and all these things from the family to the career professional. So all students, you take the Narayan Murthy ji, Nandan Ninkani ji, top person. You say that about the Narendra Modi ji or the president of our country. Education institution, big or small, that's not really very important. Here, Rajput sir, I say the one knowledge to you, the top institution whose start 3 digits, these are the premier institution of our country. I'm not engineering or management, but all combined. Why they are not able to produce a single prime minister or the president of our country? Due to the lack of emotional intelligence. Note, not all IITs combined, all NITs combined, all IIMs combined. They are not able to give a single prime minister or the president of our mother India. What about the others? Because they know how to deal with a person. They know how to deal with a person. So it is our responsibility not to deliver the education, not to deliver the degree, but if we are able to provide a good human being, like a student scores 65% marks. Sometimes the good organization take them and leave around 95% marks holder. So the next crutch is that your ethics, values, and sanskar is equal to emotional intelligence. So that is my side. Some students start their journey with X organization. Next they find they give the next salary to the double, they switch off. Next they give the salary to the third organization, they switch off. Why not they claim the same salary with the same organization if they are capable? I'm one of the examples. If you have a capability, first prove yourself. Mansi ma'am, you are the businessman. And the definition of a commerce in a business, commerce like the government institutions, they have a fund, they have a corpus amount. But how to run a government, that is a commerce. But business means to earn profit. But it is our responsibility to provide the good education, to provide the mental satisfaction, and to fulfill the vision of their parents why they choose XYZ institutions. And that's why the name of MIT. We are 13 universities in MIT. We are around 17 different locations. We are in UAE. Sometimes I feel that in UAE or Dubai, I find 30% persons, I repeat 30, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe more people from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. You know, Mansi ma'am, what about their qualification? They are 10th pass. They are only 12th pass. They are language barrier. But what is the main thing that you are not able to identify them? And the important thing is that their emotional intelligence, how they serve that country, how they are honest towards the Dubai or some other part of the globe. So that is the main thing from my side. If you are associated with any organization, if you are rickshawala, you are auto wala, you are educationist, you are politicians, do your 100% up to your level. That is, and with the full commitment. Uh, as a teacher, I asked the one question for my son when he was in 12th class at that time. He said, Papa, my aim is to become an actor. Really, I'm totally shocked. Actor? Oh my God, I'm an engineer, he's an actor. Then again, I consult with one of my Bollywood friends, Sabir Malik. I said, Sabir, this study said that he become actor. Then there's a discussion between Samir and my son. Okay, I give a one role in industry, but first fulfill the vision of your parent. And my vision is that, beta, first complete your BTech. So here the emotional intelligence is that I connect the person with the correct person. And Sabir promised. Now my son said, no, Papa, now I'm become the billionaire. Now his mind totally changed from that to that. So that is a request to all as a parent. God gave us the birth after 82 lakhs of the different types of children. That is according to Hindu traditions. It is our responsibility. We do our best to do our best in the life. I know the father of emotional intelligence. I'm very small, but here I share my real example that I've connected with around lakhs of students, lakhs of parents, 1.75 lakh students. Means you say that around their parents, mother and father, and their local guardian. So that is thinking. If you are associated with any job, but your commitment towards the employer-employee is the best. That is from myself. Over to Mansi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So many great insights here. I'm just so glad we put this together, Pramod sir. I'll be coming to you. You can, finish the question with Dr. Rana, sir. I think he's covered a lot of areas, but any gaps that you want to
No,
dive into, please do.
No, I think he has covered all, right? And
Yeah.
he has given the example of the student. He has given the example, the people, they have good IQ, but where is the emotional intelligence is there? Where is the people they are able to communicate? How they are able to take their thing? And the best example he has given about his own son.
Yeah.
So I think he has hit the nail on the head. So I think, and at the same time, Rana साहब ने ये भी सबको बोला, so people who are listening, कि भाई आपका important responsibility बनता है as a parents, बच्चों का बनता है. So beautiful message he has spread, which is I'm sure everybody is going to take it up and it is going to help a lot of the people for building their EI in the future, not only in themselves but as a parent and as a student also. So now I will once again request you to take this session with
Yeah,
Inderjit sir. Yeah,
I
sure.
though add one more thing
Yeah.
yeah,
on this
Please,
platform.
sir. Please, yeah.
yeah.
So with the permission to chair, Pramod sir, if you
Sir,
permit me,
please. Sir, please.
there's a one philosophy with across the globe. Everyone like to work with the Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Why? They are very smart. They are so smart. The Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. They hire the person on the basis of their emotional intelligence.
You said it, sir. You said it.
Whenever, whenever you are on the Google lunch table or dining table, you name the fruit name across the globe. You will find around more than 185 different types of fruits on their table. You name the fruits, name the vegetable you find on the table. But what is the thinking of this big company? Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. They are so smart and capture the minds. You find that if the Google pay the salary of 1 crore to the one person, their person enjoy their life, work-life balance, go to the company, go to the gym, morning, evening, family life, husband, wife. What about after 5 years? Their earning is only 5 crore or maximum 10 crore. Think about the Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Cadila, and many other. They hire the person, train the person, convert the person, and after that, after 3 and 4 years, their salary is only 3.5 lakh annum, and the Google salary is 1 crore per annum. Think after 6 years. Infosys, TCS, Wipro, these are the companies combinedly produce more than 1,500 CEOs. I repeat, these companies produce more than 1,500 CEOs across the globe. Their average turnover is more than 50 crore. You think about all these things, startups, new ventures, Ola, Uber, they are the persons who think beyond the boundaries. So Google, Infosys, Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, they brain mapping. They map the person. They think that money. Now they are young. They think only about the one portal. But what about Infosys, TCS, these are the company, Cognizant.
Yeah.
They are the company who the student work beyond the boundaries. That's why they become a CEO or the big entrepreneurs across the world. That is with I'm so sorry. I
No,
think
no, you
No,
said it.
no, please, sir, that
so.
absolutely fine. Yeah.
So that is the emotional intelligence. These companies plays with the career of the young professionals, but the other company who make overall development skills, leadership, communication, body language, how they interact with the client, how to interact with the potential. This about the journey. So that is from my side. Thank you, Mansi, and thank you, Pramod,
Thank you.
for asking this question too.
Thank you, sir.
Fantastic answer, sir. I think we cannot get the best answer with any of the person which we asked outside this particular forum. And you have hit the nail because it is a fact of the thing. When we as a professional, when we call the people for the interview on the higher level, on the level of general manager and all, we find everything is there, but somewhere something is missing, and that is the reason that the things are doesn't come. And where the things are not missing, we can see the person is just going like this. It's like accelerated growth is happening, and the organization is also growing. So very well, you have taken up, sir. So over to Mansi ji now, please.
Thank you, sir. So, Inderjit, sir, I would come to you, please. Um, Being an aviation expert, can you kindly shed some light on how can emotional intelligence be a game changer for the young generation?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Mansi. Thank you. Um, I'll start with how important is aviation. Uh, United Nations has lined up 17 strategic development goals for the year 2030. These were put in 2005, but because of some setbacks last year, this may be extended to 2032 or 33, catching up another 2 years. And all these 17 strategic goals are meant for the entire world to uplift them and make them free of poverty, free of bring up the education level, provide medicine for all, hunger to be removed completely, and all that stuff. I mean, think of anything and it comes under the umbrella of those 17 goals, strategic SDGs they are called. Now, it's very interesting to note that 14 out of the 17 are supported by aviation. And this is official, it's not me speaking. In the United Nations report on SDG, they say that in 14 out of the 17 goals, we need support of aviation to fulfill those required things. So for all the students and audience and all who are listening to this, they have to probably, there's no need to further elaborate to say how important aviation has become in today's world. Now, we perform, all of us perform as a teacher, as a scientist, as an engineer. So we are all performers basically. But why, I wonder sometimes, some of us become star performers. Why we are said, oh, that woman, I mean, she is a woman of substance. That man, he's a complete man. Now, what makes them a complete man? And this is where our subject of today, emotional intelligence, comes. Like Professor Rana very nicely said that whosoever comes for interview, let's say you invite tomorrow, all 500, if you're looking for doctors, academia, they'll all be doctors, they'll all be PhDs, maybe double PhDs and all. But why do you zero on one or two people? One immediately to join tomorrow, one you keep as a standby. Should he doesn't turn up, then we will hire him, or we make a panel of 3 people. Now, what is that special effect, if I may say so? That is where emotional intelligence comes. In aviation, we lead a very, very stressful life. I mean, I've been CEO for 3 years in Delhi airport. Delhi is a difficult place to live with. I mean, you know, everybody is a VIP here. Even a small MLA or MP or minister, everybody is a VIP, and everybody wants, not requests, he demands VIP treatment. We don't extend all that, because we have, at least in my time, I used to tell them, have a look at the list protocol, which we get from the Ministry of External Affairs. If you fit in that, good. Otherwise, please go and sit with any, you know, like an ordinary traveler, air traveler. So this was a very, very stressful job. In those 3 years, I think I lived 30 years because you're working around the clock and so much of stress. Our air traffic controllers, who are managing thousands of aircraft in the vicinity, not only Delhi airport, but they have a region. So they are always under stress. And statistics go to say that 95% of these air traffic controllers land up in ulcers in their stomach and in the brains, which is a fact. Though every 2 hours we change the roster, they go down, have a cup of tea or coffee, and then come back. But that doesn't help. I mean, the strain is still there while you are having your coffee. So emotional intelligence is that thing which sets apart people. And they are not extraterrestrial. They didn't come from another planet. They are as ordinary like you and me, but they suddenly become extraordinary. Why? Because of emotional intelligence. Because other than their IQ and all that, those degrees they have fetched from their universities in India, abroad, all over the world, they should be prepared to take the stress smilingly. This is what is judged in those 10-15 minutes of interview. In fact, they are put under stress by asking some such questions to see what is their breaking point. Where would they give up? And then you know where he stands, because you see, at the airport or any big business where the people are involved, you know, their survival is involved, you should be able to take a lot of stress and strain, and you have your own fine moments. I mean, it's not that round the clock, but as long as you are there, you have to be alert all the time. So such stressful jobs ask for people who have the courage, they have conviction, and they are willing to even put their life, like we were talking of people from services, for instance. I mean, their main thing is at that moment, it's not your own survival, but survival of the country, survival of the nation, and the big name of services. I mean, that is what they're carrying on their shoulder all the time, that this is my nation and I have to protect my nation. So I think emotional intelligence becomes so very important when it comes to not only perform, but perform as a star. And each one would have his own time. I mean, stars they have to be in the queue. They have to put in their worth, and they will definitely reach that point where they would get an opportunity to perform. Now, talking of aviation, aviation is not just airports. I mean, today I'm talking of airports because predominantly I've been in airports, but I have had exposure to airports, airlines, aircraft manufacturing. I mean, I left this job as CEO from Delhi. I resigned to join a company in Dubai, incidentally, Dubai Aerospace Enterprise, which is a 16 billion US dollar company. And we were involved not only in airports, but in airlines and aircraft manufacturing, not complete aircraft, but components for aircraft. I mean, no aircraft is manufactured at one point. They're all components made all over the world, and then they assemble in Toulouse or in Seattle for Boeing and Toulouse for Airbus and all that stuff. So students who are listening to this conversation of today should feel that it's such a large market. I mean, imagine for a moment that, and then important thing is, what does the market want from you? I mean, this is what I ask myself. Our students should ask themselves. You see, let's say some of us are very fond of cheese, or some of us are very fond of plums or grapes. But when you go fishing, what do you put on the hook? You don't put cheese because you like cheese. You put an earthworm or an insect because the fish likes earthworm. Just because you like cheese or you like caviar, or sorry, not caviar, maybe fish would also like, but let's say you like something else, mithai or some nice sweet, you won't fix it to the hook, because there you are looking for what would the fish be attracted to. So our students have to see and make up their mind that I may be very much interested in becoming an engineer. Okay, good. If you are very keen, go ahead, because engineers also get into aviation. I mean, all the infrastructure is done by aviation. But if you want a hardcore aviation business of managing an airport or managing an airline or becoming a pilot, then you have to have that aptitude for it. So you cultivate that in yourself and see how you can excel, because here you are wanting to conform to the requirement of the industry with whom you are going to serve. And these days, it's always good to keep another standby kind of a profession. Let's say, like I learned about emotional intelligence. Tomorrow, if I am kicked out of my job in airports, I know Mansi is there to keep me as her assistant. So, keep on the side a second kind of, and that's very important. I mean, you must have an interest in something other than your immediate vocation, because vocation can take you that much and no further. So this is my little suggestion to the budding professionals who want to get into or on the verge of coming out of their own academia and getting into industry, is to see themselves as a wholesome person. Degrees are in plenty. I mean, we all, I liked very much when Dr. Rana mentioned that we have IITs top lists, we have IIMs, and we have scientists and all. How many could make big leaders like Mandela or Mahatma Gandhi, or even, let's say, our current Prime Minister, I mean, who is not degree qualified, but highly qualified otherwise. Why? Because he understands the emotions of people. People like Mahatma Gandhi and Mandela, I literally worship them, the Mandela and Mahatma Gandhi. They knew exactly what people want. At that time, it was not money, it was not anything. They wanted freedom. Yeah. So they caught onto that freedom part of it, and got people involved in that revolution to seek freedom. And then we'll say we'll look after our food, we'll look after our other goodies in life, but let's first get freedom, because that was first and foremost. So the important thing is we should know the direction, not the speed. We should know what is where we want to reach, not at what speed, but the correct direction. I could be driving very fast from point A to B, but I wouldn't know. If I don't know the direction, I may go through C, B, F and all, and then land up at my destination. Yeah. So I think one should have a sense of direction, courage, conviction, all that is what makes a woman of substance like yourself, Mansi, or a complete man like my other panelists. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I think such fantastic words. If I was not talking here today, I would be making notes, definitely.
So my
Very, very.
employment is fixed with you. I
Of
dropped it.
course, not employment, sir. It's your it's your company. Please, any day.
Okay. All right.
Pramod sir, any last questions or thoughts with Inderjit sir before we move on?
Yeah, I think Sir has summarized it with three C's. The three C is the correct direction, coverage, and the conviction. Courage and conviction. Very well, Sir has said. And I think the student who are listening, it is very, very clear when they are going to be empowered with the EI, they are going to take care of the responsibility of the job and they are going to grow, which is very well, Sir has said. So I don't feel any other question. We summarized it very well. And the same summarization is coming here on the answer of Dipali, who has asked that whether it can be developed or not. So that's what we have answered it all. Very well, it has been explained. Thank you so much. So once again, back to you, Mansi. And thank you, sir, Inderjit sir, once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. I'm going to come to Yadav sir now, and then we'll wrap up with Dr. Harvey at the end so that he can summarize the entire session well, that you know what we have done. Dr. Yadav, good evening to you. Thank you, sir, for being here. Um, I'm going to begin with a question that, being an experienced educationist and being a chancellor yourself of the IES University, what are your thoughts on bringing emotional intelligence into universities across India? I think all the panelists here today have so far agreed on the importance of emotional intelligence, that how important it is in various different ways. Like Inderjit sir has said, like Dr. Rana has suggested as well, that it is very important in careers as well, in placements as well, in in general well-being, like Ambassador Dunstan said. So I think I would like to ask you that, do you think that bringing emotional intelligence is going to be a game changer now moving into the future?
Well, the previous panelists already tried to topic, and there is no doubt about the importance of emotional intelligence. A country like India, which is one of the biggest countries in the world in terms of population, so I think this topic is very important, and it should be blended with the way of this national education policy 2020. I think each and every institution from their own level, they should try to blend this part and characteristic of this emotional intelligence. I think starting should be from right from like primary level, because many things which we taught be inculcated from the beginning of the student career once the student enrolled in the school, and how to like how to like make them aware about the importance of this topic. So they should be concerned about the others. They should understand the teamwork. They should be involved in the co-curricular activities like particularly sports, then some quiz and other things, where they have to learn about the success. They have to learn about the team spirit. So all these things are important in context of Indian education system. I think it's very important, and the university system and the way our economy, and particularly if I talk about like knowledge economy, because ultimately if India as a country have to make a mark, because our like political leaders, right from political leaders to everybody is talking about our old history. India was a country of like gurus and so many knowledge kingdom, all these things. So I think we should from school level, and it should be part of the curriculum and school. But we are also getting a package. Same class, the student who's getting a package of 50 lakhs. So how this is happening? Because Professor Rana already like focus about the importance of this thing. I think these points should be highlighted in the like not in education fraternity, it should be highlighted everywhere so that parents community, student community, teachers, and all the stakeholders should understand the importance of emotional intelligence, because it's the characteristic which ultimately giving a complete success. So it's like intelligence, like at individual level, academia, understanding of the academic point. I think emotional intelligence is the complete development of the student. So I think this is from my side.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Very well summed up, I think, Pramod sir, by Yadav sir, about the, entire session and about the need of emotional intelligence into the curriculum and even into, as a subject into the entire university side. So any last thoughts on that side from you,
No,
Pramod
I
sir?
think Yadav sir has very clearly said, and the people who are listening here, the students they are listening here, emotional intelligence is basically required to become a successful professional. I'm not saying about the right professional. So, and what Yadav sir has said, and all the important dignitaries has said this thing, that it should be a part of the curriculum. Because if you want to become successful in your life, you have to have that empathy, you have to have that humility, humanity, you have to have all these things which will basically required. So then only you can become a successful professional. And it is very, very important that the schools should start putting these things, because now we are on the tech world. Technology is going to drive. It started driving us also. So it is very important to add the things. So I think very well he has said. So over to you, Mansi ji, from my side.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Yadav sir. Very well summed up. I just wanted to add on a little bit, Yadav sir, and ask you that. So, since we've established here through this panel today that emotional intelligence is the need of the hour, it should be, it should be included as some part into the schools and universities, either as curriculum or as an extra subject, or it should be taught. I mean, so far, none of the universities have worked in that direction where we can see that this has become part of the curriculum or this has come into a subject. Why do you think that is the case? Because I'm sure that emotional intelligence has always been a major part and portion of life. So why do you think that these gaps have not been addressed so far?
I think this post-COVID, this importance of, because you see this loneliness, so many issues come up with COVID. Affected due to this COVID. So I think now many people will come and will come forward and about how to live in a proper organization. I think it's the right time to think everybody. I think global issue, not a global issue, because what Rajput is telling, it's like a digital world. Everybody is now more involved towards in this smart. So I think it's like it's your event for every. So this is what Mansi like.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. On that note, I'm going to come to Dr. Harvey. Dr. Harvey, thank you for patiently listening throughout the conversation and staying there. I'm just going to come to you to wind this up, sir. First of all, Dr. Harvey is our major advisor on board. So thank you, Dr. Harvey, for becoming a part of us and, guiding us all along the way. Pramod sir, do you want to take up the last question with Dr. Harvey, please?
Oh, thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Right. So, as an ex-sir, Harvey sir, I have a great pleasure to take this question from you. As an experienced emotional intelligence specialist, what are your valuable thoughts and how emotional intelligence can improve the students' well-being to become a real good professionals in their lives?
Well, thank you for that question. This is very feel very privileged to honored to hear all these wise thoughts from my esteemed colleagues here. A lot of great wisdom that the students are receiving here today. And yes, I wish when I was a student that I would have had the benefit of such wisdom. But yes, such wonderful ideas. The thing that I wanted, there's a number of things I wanted to talk about today. One of them was that when we're in school, when we're in a career, the thing that's going to be focused upon is our marks, our grades, it's our cognitive intelligence. Now that is important. It's important to get into any respectable school, respectable university. Marks are important. Our IQ is very, very important. And we need that to get our job when we get out. We need to have certain marks. Now, this is what happens after we get our first job. Then it's our emotional intelligence that becomes more and more important all the time, because once we are in our first jobs, it is our ability to connect with others that is really, really important. And that ability is due to our emotional intelligence, our ability to understand others, to understand ourselves, our ability to make those connections with others. I will let you in on something that I have worked with human resource people and that have worked, been in the careers for many years. This is how really decisions are made when we leave college, university, when we apply for jobs. We have to have a certain mark, certain qualifications, but those are gatekeepers. Everybody that's applying for a job has those qualifications, has the qualifications to do the job. Okay, they have the technical skills, they have the knowledge. When we are being interviewed, here's something that a lot of people don't know. The interview happens, is supposed to, the people interviewing you are supposed to look, you think they are looking at your qualifications, but everybody that's being interviewed has qualifications that are enough to get the job. How the decision is made and it's not even on a conscious level, it can be made on a subconscious level. Is there a couple of questions that not only for an interviewer, that we make in our lives between two people. First of all, when you hire somebody, are you qualified? If you're qualified, the second question in your mind that you have to pass is, do I trust you? Now, how that question gets answered in an interview is the interviewers know who they want to hire based on, who do I trust? Who would I like to work with? Who do I like? That's the question. Now, if somebody that they want to hire is struggling and not giving them the right answers so they can check that off, yes, because they have to justify who are they hiring, they will probe deeper to get that answer from the person, because it's the person they have already decided. And it may be on an emotional, it may be just a subconscious level, they're not aware of it, but this is the person they want to hire because they have made a good connection with that person. They feel good about that person. That is the person they trust. They will probe more deeper until they get the answer that they can justify hiring this person. Okay. And if a person is somebody that they really don't want to hire, even though they're qualified, they will not probe anymore. So that's what really happens. Now, the other thing that I wanted to do, it's very, very important. And I noticed somebody earlier in the chat, the student had put in the chat that they went into engineering, but they found out at the end that it isn't their cup of tea. There are many reasons that students will go into careers not knowing really what they want, or else someone else, their parents has told them, has been pressuring them, this is what you need to do, but they really don't know. They're not sure what they really want. It's important to have a passion, to have a desire for whatever it is that you are studying for. Now, students may not know. I did not know what I really wanted to do, until, well into my life, what my passion was, what my desire was, what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. But I made a few career changes throughout life. So if you go into something that you think you would like, and it ends up not being really what you want, it's not the end of the world. You can make a change. People make career changes many times now in their lives. It's okay. You've learned skills that will serve you in life, that will help you in life. So if you end up going through something that you find out at the end isn't really what it is, it's okay. You use those transferable skills, you can move into something else. There's a lot of stress, when you go to school, especially if you haven't been away from home, you haven't been away from your parents. It's a whole new environment. Look for help. Connect with somebody. There's your advisor, somebody, teacher that you trust, and talk to them if you're feeling overstressed. A little bit of stress is good. We need some stress to motivate and drive us. That is a good kind of stress. If it gets to the point that it's overwhelming, we feel panicky, please talk to somebody, reach out. It is important when you're going to higher education, not only to be able to make connections with your professors, with your teachers, but it's also important to have at least one fellow student that you can talk to, that you connect with, make friends with. And at first, understand that it can be very, very overwhelming, especially if you're just leaving home, you have no other life experience, you're put in a whole strange environment. Reach out, ask for help, make connections. The other thing that's really important is, I understand when you are working, you're stressed, you're studying for exams, which are very, very important. And you think, well, I'm working so hard, and I have my friends that are out there having fun, partying. It's very tempting. Why am I doing this? But it's important because, to have delayed gratification, because somewhere down the road, this will all pay off. To develop that discipline, to develop that ability to stick with something, even though the benefits of that are not immediate, like the benefits are of going out with your friends, having fun, just enjoying life at the moment. The benefits are down the road. We have to be able to overcome that desire to just do what we enjoy doing now, and to work towards something, delay our gratification for something that will pay off down the road. So I hope I've left you something that you can, is practical, that you can use for today. And thank you for giving me your time, and follow your passion. If you can't find it right away, keep looking. Find something that moves you, that you're feeling passionate about. If it's not what you think it is, at the end of the day, you find it's not what you have learned something, and that will benefit you for the rest of your life. The other thing is, career is not life. It's not your life. It's part of your life. It's a very important part of your life, but it's not all of your life. It's very, very important to remember that. It's only a section of your life. There are other parts of your life. So your happiness and your personal fulfillment, your relationships with others, with your loved ones, with your partners, that's all very, very important part of life, and never forget that. So thank you for giving me the time, and I hope this is beneficial to you. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much. I think the best way you have explained. Wow. I just writing the skills, some stress is required. career is important, but it is not because there are other things in their life and all. So well, wow. So with this, I would request now, Mansi ji, to please can you just summarize and with the today's webinar, what all we have heard from the five very important eminent personalities about the EI part. So how you feel that how can we empower to the student across the colleges or the universities, so that when everybody has resonated that EI is very important, it has to be taught in the colleges, it has to be there, because then only people will have IQ, but without EQ, people will not be able to further go ahead. So what is your summarization on this entire beautiful webinar? Over to you, Mansi.
Thank you so much, Pramod sir. I think we have had a fantastic and very insightful session. So many useful things to take away from here. Fortunately, we would also have the recording available for later. I think it's very important for students to understand this. And this coming from such eminent people, sitting here, Yadav ji, as well as Dr. AjayRana ji, who are eminent educationists, leading people of the industry. It's very important to hear from their mouths. That is the reason, we put this together today. And I'm so happy that it has come across in that way as well, where they have stressed upon the importance of EI and where they have also stressed upon how it is important, where it is important, so that students can understand it very well, that these are the points in our lives where we are going to require this. I will now talk about providing the solution to the problem here, because I see this as a problem. It is a problem that it is not a part of the curriculum. It is not something that is taught to students when they are, doing their education. We interviewed about more than 100 IITs, IIMs, medical students, engineering students across the country before we designed our curriculum, because we wanted to figure out the gaps, that where are the gaps. And I think most of the students, came up with the answers that Inderjit sir had said earlier: the leadership skills, the communication skills, empathy skills. I think all of these skills are not taught in any universities, and people are just expected that they should know about it. Education system is such that they are providing very high IQ to people, but then the EQ part is left upon you as if you should be born with it. But not everybody is born with the amount of resilience which is required to deal with the uncertainties and difficulties of life. I think emotional intelligence plays a very big role there. It's not about how you are doing in your regular life, it's about how you handle difficult situations in life. And those are not going to come with a warning. The pandemic has, I think, said that out loud to everybody of us, that, situations are just going to be very uncertain. So I think we have come up with the solution, because we have designed such a curriculum and courses where we can, give this knowledge to students. I would love to discuss it further with Dr. AjayRana sir here, with Yadav sir here as well. And through this panel and through this discussion, to other leading chancellors and vice chancellor sirs of, universities across India, we've put a lot of effort in, and it is a social cause. Honestly, to me, this is a very personal cause, Pramod sir. I have lived and worked in London for past 15 years. You know my background. Um, I was bullied out there in university. I have gone through major anxiety and depression in my life. After going through such huge, difficulties and trying to overcome them on my own, fortunately, the resilience was high. That is the reason I'm here amongst you, all you guys today. But if that wasn't the case, then there are many people who would just break down and they would not be able to find the way. So this is the reason that I wanted to bring this into India. This is the reason I moved especially to this country with this cause. And this is, something which I'm very passionate about, and I will do it. That is the reason we have put this panel here together today, to understand the importance. Because I think one person talking about it, does not make a difference. It's a social cause. It's like how Inderjit sir put things in perspective about freedom, that when the country wanted freedom and how people were joining the cause, right? So we have to understand first that why this is required. So I'm very happy that all the people here today have shown the importance of EI in various ways, in different perspectives, in different professions, and hopefully now we have actually understood. So there are ways now how we can take it forward. We will offer solutions, and hopefully we'll make the future our students a little bit brighter. That is the little hope. That is what we want to do. So thank you very much, Pramod sir. Closing comments by you, sir.
Thank you so much. I think you have already completed the entire circle and the cycle of this. I must say thanks to Inderjit sir for joining us, Dr. AjayRana for sparing his valuable time, right? Singh Sahab, Yoda sir coming here and giving his perspective, and Ambassador Dunster sir coming here and telling the very, very important thing on the very clear way. And thank you, Harvey sir, which is supposed to be the father of EI, and telling in the very, very simple word. With this, let us take the things forward and let us spread this beautiful thing which we have learned today, and so that we will be able to ensure the things. And many of the people who are coming, the upcoming budding professionals, which are going to be the nation's pride and the pride for India, for the entire globe, they should learn the things and they should be doing the things the way it is basically required. So thank you so much.
Pramod sir, I
Yeah.
just wanted to say thank you to Dr. Babita ma'am. She's here. She has been here through the entire session listening to us. Dr. Babita Kataria, the director for APJ Abdul Kalam Technical Cell, and Dr. Shawli ma'am, Gayatri. There have been so many people who have been listening here to us. I'm just naming a few, but thank you everybody for being here today and for supporting this cause. GMHA is blessed to have such amazing people as part of the board, and we will definitely make a difference. So thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. Thank you so much. And good night. And
Thank
good
you,
day to Dr.
everyone.
Harvey to you. Good day to Dr.
Thank you
Harvey.
too. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.
I'm honored.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Enjoy the day. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye, sir.
Thank you. Bye.